All right, so we're gonna start our mobility session for today. Very yin focused, combined with some hip opening movements. So how the layout's gonna go for today is we're gonna do a warm up, about 5 to 6 minutes, just to get the blood flowing, to get our bodies ready. And then we have 7 poses that I'm gonna lead you guys through. We're gonna hold each pose for 3 minutes. So that means that it's important to be gentle when you're getting into the poses, because you will be there for a significant amount of time, okay? 3 minutes in each poses, followed by 1 minute of recovery. So that minute of recovery can either be laying on your stomach, laying on your back in Shavasana, however you prefer to take your minute of rest, that's up to you. During that minute, we'll talk about the next pose as well and transition into it. So that's going to be the layout. Afterwards, we'll have a couple minutes of a cool down as well. But the target again for today is hip opening, okay? So to start with our warm-ups, we're going to do some simple floor poses to start. So some cat-cow. So we'll get on all fours, knees underneath the wrists. Nope, knees underneath the hips. Hands underneath the shoulders. Nice big inhale. We're going to push everything away from the floor. Round the back. Exhale. Drop down. Look up. And repeat on your own breath. Inhale. Push away from the ground. Exhale. Tuck your tailbone up. Look up. And try and relax. Couple more on your breath. Breathe out. Push. And in. We'll do 2 more. Last exhale. Pull the shoulders down. Look up. Good. While we're here, then we're going to sit back down into a child's pose. We'll revisit this pose later, but we're just going to incorporate it into our warm-up. So reaching the hands forward. Focusing on your breath here as well, keeping it with you. While we're here, we're going to walk the hands over to the left side. So hands go over to the left, which means we'll feel a stretch through the right side of the body. Good. On your next inhale, move the hands across, other side, hands over to the right, feeling the stretch through the left side. Awesome. Next inhale, back to the middle. We're going to come back up onto all fours and push back into downward dog. So plant the hands at the front of the mat. Big up, hips towards the ceiling. Trying to push your chest towards the ground. We'll pedal the feet while we're here. So kind of drop weight to the one side. Try and bring those heels closer to the ground. Good. And reset. We'll do 5 nice big breaths here. Last inhale and exhale. Good. Lower the knees, look to the front of the mat, and you can step or hop up to the front. Nice forward fold here. So try and touch, whether your hands be on your shins, ankles, the floor. Just try and forward fold. Relax the head and neck. You can interlace your hands together, kind of hands on the elbows to help relax the upper body. All right, rooting through the feet. We're going to nice, slowly stand all the way up. Bring the hands up and back down. Good. We're going to go through a couple sun salutations. So very similar idea. What we're going to do, we'll start a mountain pose. Top of the mat, bring the hands up, forward fold, all the way down. Place the hands on the mat, step back right, left, plank pose. Nice and slowly, either from your feet or from your knees, we're gonna drop down to the floor. Nice small forward bend, cobra, up dog, whatever you'd like. And then we'll push back to a down dog. All the way up. Find your breath. On your next inhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Forward fold. We'll do half lift, so nice tall spine. Come back down to the ground, rooting through the feet all the way up. Good, we'll do 2 more, all right? Forward fold, down to the mat, place the hands, step the feet back, tall plank, drop down, forward, bend, back to down dog. 3 big breaths here. Last inhale. Bend the knees, look to the hands, step or hop, back to the front. Still in your forward fold. We'll do half lift, nice tall spine, forward fold, nice strong through the feet, all the way up. Right on, we'll do 1 more, last warm up, bend forward. Good, place the hands, back to tall plank. Okay, from the feet or from the knees, drop down, low cobra, up dog. And when you're ready, push back, down dog. 3 breaths. Awesome. Now we're just going to drop the knees onto the mat and have a seat. Like so. All right, now that we're a little bit warmed up, we're going to get started into our first yin pose. So first one's going to be a banana pose, is what I've learned it to be called. It's basically going to be a supine bend. Okay, so I'll demonstrate for you here before we get started. Okay, so for banana pose, to get set up, we're going to lay down on our backs. We're going to move our hips slightly over to the right side and our feet over to the left. Get a nice bend in the body, and we're going to follow that through with our upper body with our arms reaching over to the left. So you've got left hand grabbing onto the right arm and pulling into a bend. Really trying to create some space through the right side for this posture. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get everybody set up for this first posture. Okay, good. Okay, so first one, we'll get everybody set up into the banana pose. So we'll start on the left side. So again, we're going to hold them for 3 minutes. Okay, so I've set my timer here. So what we're going to do, again, lay hips off to the right, feet to the left, and then left hand grabs right wrist, and we're going to pull across the body as well. And then just kind of find your breath here. Try and make some space between the right sides of your body, between the vertebrae, not vertebrae, between the ribs. If you're looking for a little bit more of a stretch, you can take your right foot and cross it over your left ankle to kind of add a bit of an IT band stretch. Where are we at time on? 1 minute in. don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. Alright, we'll do our last few breaths over here. So any further into the pose that you can go, add a little bit more now. Got a couple more breaths. Awesome. So now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we'll move the hips over to the left side. We'll take the feet over to the right. And same thing with the arms overhead. Right arm grabbing the left arm, pulling it across the body. How's the view on the camera? It's decent. And again, we'll do 3 minutes on this side. If you're looking to add that extra stretch again, left leg over right, add a bit of stretch in the IT band. Or did you do right or left? Whatever. Connecting with your breath. As you're able to relax a little bit into the poses, see if you can push your body just a little bit farther, a little bit deeper. Granted, we still have about 1.5 minutes left. Alright, next pose we're going to work into for a 3 minutes hold is going to be child's pose. So a lot of us are familiar with this pose, which is great, but this one will be a little bit different because we are holding it for a total of 3 minutes. So we'll go ahead and get set up. So knees about mat width apart, okay? We're really going to try and sit back, kind of work on engaging our glutes down towards our heels as we're going through this, okay? So we'll get set up, hands nice and forward. Again, 3 minute hold, nice and relaxed. You can relax the neck on the mat as well. Really using your hands to push against the floor, trying to get your hips back towards your heels. All right, we're about halfway through. So for anybody looking to add a little bit extra to the stretch, I'd say we'll bend the elbows to add a shoulder stretch as well. So I'll demo having the hands on the shoulders, elbows forward. Right on, we got about 45 seconds left here. You're doing great. All right, your next couple breaths, we're gonna nice slowly move out. So we'll bring the hands back, kind of back up on all fours. And then you can take your recovery position in any way you like. Again, whether it be on your stomach or on your back. We'll take a minute to kind of just let that pose sink in. Nice big belly breaths here. It's helpful if you're lying on your stomach. You can really push your stomach into the ground on your inhale. And exhale, let your diaphragm relax. All right, our next pose is going to be called lizard stretch. So for this one, if you have a block, this might be a good opportunity to use it. Okay, definitely not a requirement. What we're going to do is we're going to get set up. We'll start with the left leg forward. Okay, so we're kind of in a half kneeling stance here. We want our knee tracking right over our ankle in the front. Okay, so this stretch is really going to open up the right hip flexor and put some compression on the left. So once you're in your half kneeling position, we're just really going to push our hips forward. Okay, have both hands either planted on the inside of our leg, or you can drop down to the elbows if you're able to. You can use your block. Maybe you need a little bit of an extra lift, so you put your hands on your block here. Okay, but take a second to get comfortable with this stretch. And again, we're going to hold for 3 minutes starting now. So find what you're able to sustain, what you're able to hold. Okay, trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Try not to scrunch up nice and tight. You want to stay nice and relaxed, or as relaxed as you can be. You really want to push your hips towards the ground. Try and get them as close down there as you can, taking some of the weight off your shoulders. Taking nice flat backs. Your front leg might naturally kind of go out as mine does. As long as it's not sore on the knee, it's not a big issue. It doesn't impede this stretch. Just making sure that you're doing what's comfortable for your own body. We're about halfway through this stretch, guys. You're doing great. It's going to start to get difficult. It's going to start to get sore. Okay, that's kind of what yin is about. It's about establishing that threshold and trying to maintain and push your body to be a little bit uncomfortable to help make some progress and push us forward. See if you can find your breath again if you've lost it. About another minute. "30 seconds. Last couple breaths. So nice and slowly, over the next few breaths, we're going to come out of it. So we'll push back and find that recovery position that we chose. For me, it's on my stomach. Oh, nice and gently come down and just let your body process the stretch. You may have felt a big increase of blood flow to specific areas, especially your hip flexor when we came out of that stretch. That's totally normal. That's okay. That's what happens when we compress areas for an extended period of time. When we relax, when we release, it really pushes lots of blood and red blood cells, white blood cells, flush the area out, which is good. We're going to move into the same thing on the other side now. So when you're ready, come back up. We're going to do right leg forward this time. Okay, so we did it last time on the other side, so you kind of know what to expect now. Okay, so set yourself up appropriately with your right leg forward. Use your block or have it readily available if you need to. We're going to get set up, and our 3 minutes are going to start now. So find that position where you find comfortable, and maybe start to notice if the sides are different. It's completely normal for one side to be a little bit easier, a little bit more tough than the other, but acknowledging it is a big part. Just being able to be aware and to understand. It's normal with everybody. Everybody has imbalances on either side. And say for your hips, you might be tighter on your left side, and then your shoulder might be tighter on your right side. It just depends on your habits, on the way that you're built and your exercise routine. It's not a bad thing though. Again, trying to find some softness here. So pulling the ears away from the shoulders, shoulders down. Pushing your hips towards the ground. About halfway through this stretch. Again, adjust if you need to, so that you're able to do the last half. Last minute. I'll find this side easier. How about you? Do you feel it in your left hip flexor? Because it's a little, your knee's a little far forward. So almost try maybe slide it back a bit. Alright, so on your next few breaths, we're going to come back up to all fours. Find that recovery position. Nice job. We get a minute here. So whether you need to grab a drink, maybe your recovery position's on your back for this one, it's totally up to you. Again, got about 45 seconds to move on to our next one. Alright, so when you're ready, kind of come back up to a seated or to all four position. Our next stretch is going to be a frog stretch. Okay, so kind of a groin stretch inside of the quads. So what we're going to do to get set up, so this will be a sideways stretch. So you're going to kind of face the long way of your mat. So for our lower body, I'm going to turn just to demo for us. Our knees are going to be nice and wide, okay? With our feet and pointed out as well, kind of as I'm showing down here. Okay, so your ankle's still right below your shin. We want that to be kind of a nice straight line there. If at all any of this becomes difficult on your knees, okay, modify as you need to. But the stretch we're looking for is kind of in the groin area, okay? So we'll get both feet set up with toes pointing out, okay? Nice wide stance, and then for this stretch, we're just gonna sit back, okay, into that stretch. So go ahead and get yourselves all set up. So turning on our mat. So like I am here, nice wide knees, feet are pointed out, okay? And we're gonna sit back. So nice tall chest again. You can use your blocks if you need to as well here. Now this is a rather intense stretch as well, okay? So if you need to kind of move your upper body, modify where your block is, go ahead. But we're going to try and sustain the stretch through the hips and the groin the whole time. You got about a minute and a bit left. Nice job, guys. Just over a minute left. If it gets to be intense, try and find your breathing. Breathe through. Are you done, babe? Okay. You don't have to hang out here for one first. Alright. Here we go. Couple breaths, nice and easy. You start thinking about movement again, so gently coming forward, finding that recovery position again. Nice job. That one's pretty intense. So take a sec, drop the hips down, kind of let your body soak in that stretch for a minute. Nice job. We'll just do 2 more.
Just sore. More sore than I thought I was.
Okay. Alright, good job, guys. So we've got 2 left for today. Okay, they're a little less intense than that last one was. So the next one we're going to do is called a supported bridge. So for this stretch, you will need some sort of prop, preferably a block. If you don't have a block, maybe grab a textbook or something you're able to prop up underneath your hips. If all that fails, pillow, towel, one of those will work, okay? I'm going to demo what we're going to do, and then we'll all get into it together. So for supported bridge, we're going to be laying on our backs, knees bent about 90 degrees. Okay, so with our block here, we're going to push our shoulders into the wall, bring our hips up, and we're going to place the block right on our sacrum, so right on our low back. So you want to place it in a way that you feel supported, okay? If you're feeling kind of rockety or not stable, just adjust. Find that place where it's comfortable, at least as comfortable as it can be on the low back. If this is new to anybody, it can be a bit intense to start. Try and let your body just relax into the posture. So I'll stay here. We'll get everybody else to get set up in a similar fashion. And we'll start our stretch here in our 3 minutes of supported bridge. So you can have your palms up, eyes closed, kind of just letting our body do its thing. This position really promotes the positive blood flow up to the chest, up to the brain. So it's a nice restorative pose as well. Looking good, guys. We're about halfway through. last breaths here. Inhale and out. 2 more. Inhale. Last inhale here. Right on. So when you're ready, push up through your heels. We're going to remove the block. Back down, nice and slow, onto the ground. And then we'll move into our last recovery position, because after this, we'll have one more stretch. So into your recovery, whether that be on your stomach, on your back, maybe take a child's pose for this one, and kind of just let your body, again, soak in the movements.
I have to edit this song.
Mm-hmm.
I have to edit that song.
You're ready.
More aggressive.
All right. When you're ready, we're going to come back up. We'll move into our last position. So this one you will need a towel or a pillow, okay, whatever you've grabbed. So I'm using a towel. So I'm going to fold it in half, and then in half again, and then roll it. Roll it so it looks like this, okay? So we're going to do it's been called like a fish pose or a supported spine. Okay, this is going to be our last one for the day. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a seat, and we're going to place the towel right in the middle of the spine. So kind of lower on the shoulders, kind of through here on our back, and we're going to lay our body against it on the ground. Okay, so you might have to move and adjust as you're going through. Let the legs hang down nice and flat. Relax the arms. And kind of just let your body adjust to being supported. Now, depending on what you're using, it'll vary on the amount of support that you have through your back. If it's too intense, drop it down a little bit. But again, we'll get set up and be here, start our pose, and our last hold. Try and relax the shoulders. Maybe go through the body and notice where any tension is being held, and try and just exhale and let it go. Over halfway through now, got about a minute left. when you're ready, start to create some movement back in the body. We can roll off of the towel, kind of off to the side, and then use our hands to push ourselves back up. We're going to go into Shavasana, or your recovery position. This will be our last one, part of our cool down. I suggest you can take your towel and place it under your knees, okay, for a little bit of help to take some stress off the low back. And then lay down, take up some space, get comfortable, and we'll do a minute just to thank your body for the stretching. Self-reflect on which ones you found more challenging, which ones were a bit easier. Now, if you're ready to come back up, come back to seated position. If you're not, you're more than welcome to stay in your Shavasana or your recovery position for as long as you need, 5, 10, 15 minutes. Thanks for doing a couple stretches with me today. Some yin-based hip opening mobility. And we'll see you again next week. Thanks.